As Akachi and Namdi set out, the village remained silent, trusting in the ancestors and the strength of their love. The sacred mountain appeared in the distance, its rocky heights covered by fog. Akachi and Namdi walked side by side, their determination strong. The path was dangerous, but their love gave them strength. As they entered the dense forest that surrounded the mountain, the air became heavier, and the sounds of the village faded. Birds cried out from above, and the rustling of leaves indicated unseen eyes watching their every move. "Namdi," Akachi said softly, gripping his arm. "Do you think the ancestors will truly let us succeed?" Namdi squeezed her hand. "Our ancestors gave us a chance. We must believe that our love is sufficient." As night fell, the couple arrived at a clearing where a massive baobab tree stood, its gnarled branches stretching into the sky. A deep roar echoed through the air, and a creature appeared from the shadows. It was a lion, and its eyes blazed with an extraordinary light. "I am the guardian of the forest," the lion roared. "Only the pure of heart may pass. Prove your love or face the consequences." Akachi stepped forward. "We've come to prove that our love is genuine. Tell us what we must do." The lion encircled them, its gaze piercing. "Each of you must confront your greatest fear. Only then will you be considered worthy." The lion led Namdi to a dark cave. Inside, the walls appeared to move, with shadows representing his worst memories, times when he had failed to protect those he loved. A voice said, "You're not enough. You will fail her, just as you have failed others." But Namdi squeezed his fist. "I may not be perfect, but my love for Akachi outweighs my fears. I will not allow doubt to control me." The shadows faded and the lion's voice rumbled. "You have passed." For Akachi, the lion represented her family, who shunned her for defying tradition. In the vision, her father's voice rang out, "You have brought dishonor to us all." Tears welled in her eyes, but she stood firm. "I love my family, but I can't lie. My love for Namdi does not dishonor them, rather, it honors the courage to follow my heart." The vision faded, and the lion nodded. "You, too, have passed." The couple continued on until they reached a wide, rushing river. Its waters shone with an eerie silver light. Standing on the bank was an elderly woman with a staff. To cross the river of truth, she stated, "You must answer one question: what would you sacrifice for each other?" Namdi responded without hesitation. "I would sacrifice my life for Akachi's happiness." Akachi met Namdi's gaze and replied, "And I would give up everything, my title, my comfort, even my family, to be with him." The elderly woman smiled. "Your words are correct. You may cross." The river parted to reveal a safe path. At the foot of the sacred mountain, tiredness set in. The path was steep and dangerous, and cold winds blew in their faces. They persisted, encouraging one another along the way. As they approached the summit, the full moon broke through the clouds, lighting the mountain in silver light. They found the flower they were looking for, hidden in a rock, a radiant flower glowing softly. Akachi went for it, but the mountain trembled. A deep voice repeated, "Only those who bear no burden of deception may claim the flower." "Is your heart truly pure?" Akachi and Namdi joined hands. They declared, "Our love is honest, and our hearts are free of deceit." The trembling went away, and the flower opened its bloom. With the sacred flower in hand, Akachi and Namdi began their descent from the mountain. Their return to Agugi was quieter than before, their hearts full of both triumph and anxiety. They had proven their love to the mountain spirits, but what awaited them in the village was unknown. When they arrived at the village gates, the Agug villagers rushed to meet them. The crowd gasped in awe as they saw the glowing flower Akachi held in her hands. Standing in the center of the square, Chief Oba took a step forward with an unreadable expression. "You have returned," he said, his deep voice rising above the crowd's murmurs. "With the sacred flower, no less. The ancestors have spoken through your success." Akachi kept her head high and her voice steady. "We proved that our love is genuine and does not disrespect the ancestors or our people. We simply ask for your blessing to be together." The crowd fell silent, waiting for the chief's response. Before Chief Oba could respond, Okachukwu stepped forward. His face was dark with rage. He said, "This is absurd. They may have brought the flower back, but that does not excuse their betrayal of tradition. We risk chaos if we allow love to dictate our actions. Some villagers murmured in agreement, while others exchanged worried looks. It was clear that the population was divided. Neka, the wise elder, raised her hand to calm the crowd. The ancestors have already proven their love. But maybe it's the people who need reassurance. She turned to face Akachi and Namdi. Let the people decide. Share your story, and if their hearts are moved, you will receive a blessing. If not, you have to accept their decision. Akachi and Namdi stood before the audience, their voices trembling at first but stronger as they spoke. They described their journey, including the trials of the guardian of the forest, the river of truth, and the sacred mountain. They discussed their fears, sacrifices, and the unbreakable bond that saw them through each challenge. By the end, many in the audience were wiping away tears. Even Okachukwu appeared moved, but his pride kept him silent. Chief Oba surveyed his people with a thoughtful expression on his face. Eventually, he raised his hand. You've heard their story. What do you think, my people? For a moment, there was silence. Then, one by one, the villagers began speaking. They have shown courage. The ancestors gave them a chance, and they succeeded. Shouldn't love like this be honored, not condemned? The voices became louder, and the majority of the village cried out in support of Akachi and Namdi. Chief Oba's expression softened. He stepped forward and rested his hand on Akachi's shoulder. My daughter, you have shown great courage and wisdom. And you, Namdi, have proven your worth. The ancestors spoke during your journey, and now the people have spoken as well. I give you my blessing. The crowd erupted in cheers, and Akachi and Namdi embraced, their joy unstoppable. Even Okachukwu, despite his disappointment, extended his hand to Namdi in reluctant acceptance. The union of Akachi and Namdi was a watershed moment in Agugi history. Their story became a symbol of courage and love's ability to challenge even the most deeply ingrained traditions. Over time, the village learned to strike a balance between respect for their ancestors and the needs of the present, leaving a new legacy for future generations. Akachi and Namdi's love continued to bloom, as radiant and enduring as the sacred flower for which they had risked everything.